So the real question is, for Trump, for the administration, do they want to leave the Middle East and let China, I mean, this goes without saying that China would fill the geopolitical gap. There's absolutely no doubt about that. Russia will not be in a state to do that right now because of the involvement in Ukraine, but China is very much ready to do so. Or does he want to win this battle, effectively? My guess is that he is not going to wrap up and go. So there really is only one alternative, and that's to stay and secure the Strait of Hormuz. And as we've seen in the past few days, they have been hitting the bridges, and if you look at the bridges, it's all the bridges that lead to the southern coast of Iran. They're just about all of them have been hit. And what that tells you is that they are, despite what a number of people have said that there's going to be no boots on the ground, but there seems to me that there are going to be plans to at least put a limited number of boots on the ground in order to secure part of the southern coast so that it will reduce the sort of number of sites that can easily hit the Strait of Hormuz. So basically the plan, I think, I mean I'm no expert, but it just seems to me that the plan is to shift the sort of drone and missile facilities that Iran is using to hit the Strait of Hormuz, shift that up into Iran by several hundred kilometers so that it can actually be managed in terms of defending it. Because if you're on British Island and the Strait of Hormuz is right underneath you, then obviously you can hit it at any time. You can hit it very precisely. But if you're hundreds of kilometers away from it, then that obviously makes it a lot more an accurate, successful hit. So that's how it seems to me. But again, it's just the willpower needs to be there. First of all, the second thing that's really needed is the backing of the psychology of the nation, if you like. Those are the things that are not sort of synced or they're not comprehensively there. I think that's where I give my thoughts.
So you asked a couple of questions. I'm going to take a stab at answering them. And let me see how this fits from your perspective. One potential answer is that the president's engaged in a deliberate, covert effort to align with Russia and Iran to destroy U.S. global influence, because, as you point out, Iran wants us out of the region, Russia wants us out of the region so that they can move in. One could leave that question lingering in the back of one's mind as a potentiality. Most of the people who have analyzed all this, such as the Council on Foreign Relations and others, are saying, no, Gary, that's not a possibility. That this is a classic case of strategic miscalculation, ideological friction, and entrapment into yet another forever war. So while the consequences of this conflict may inadvertently serve the interest of Moscow and Tehran, most of the assessments that I've read about it, because this is a question that's been burning at me, are rejecting the idea of some kind of an intentional accord, so to speak. So I looked at an analysis in Foreign Affairs, which is the publication of the Council on Foreign Relations. And that analysis suggests that when the president initiated the war early this year, he had an aggressive pressure strategy. And he assumed, perhaps naively, and maybe not perhaps based on the facts on the ground, that these massive airstrikes and the assassination of Khamenei would trigger a rapid collapse of the regime or force an immediate surrender. Well, that didn't happen. We know that instead of collapsing, Iran dug in. As others, Andrew mentioned, they've adapted their tactics. They choked off the Strait of Hormuz. And so the administration now is forced itself into a reactive military cycle with no clear exit. I don't know which one of those analyses fits best with you, Amir. The first one seems like the simple answer, but that's a pretty onerous suggestion. Maybe it's wrong.
Well, I mean, I'm not really into the sort of, conspiracy theories as such, which the first one kind of leans towards a little bit. But on the second one, I actually think it's a heck of a lot is at stake. I think the entire relationship between East and West is at stake here. I think the Strait of Hormuz will determine how America, who's the leader of the Western world, is going to be seen, and subsequently, as a result of that, the entire Western world, if you like, is going to be seen. So the relation, the dynamics between the East and West will change if America decides to throw in the towel. I mean, have absolutely no doubt about that. I don't know what you think about that, Gary.
I think it would be horrific if the United States threw in the towel, but I am in a minority, Amir. And so, as you pointed out, and others have before you, you can't win a war, you can't prosecute a war without the support of the populace. And this war was never sold to the American people. Hell, it wasn't even sold to the members of Congress. Hell, it wasn't even sold to the Republican members of Congress. And the contradictory commentary from the president, and as I pointed out earlier, they're now saying, oh, the prices at the pump, they're going to plummet once we reopen the Strait of Hormuz. But the president claims the Strait of Hormuz is open. So, I've been taking it on the chin, quite frankly, Amir, in my social media postings, for simply posting a statement made by the president. People just attack me left, right, and center. I'm not doing my job as a journalist because I'm not pointing out to people that the president lies every time he opens his mouth. If you just say what the president is stating, what he posted a minute ago on Truth Social, accurately, nobody's saying that I'm misstating or misrepresenting what the president says. Well, hell, I might as well be his press secretary because I'm carrying his water. People are not ready to buy in to this war because they do not like the commander-in-chief. I think that's my thumbnail analysis of it, Amir. I don't know. Do you agree?
Yeah, I mean, I fully understand the frustration that you have, at your job. I mean, obviously, the last time we spoke, you were equally frustrated when I said don't take much notice of what presidents say. But you said, how can I not? And you're absolutely right there. But then you have to look at the trajectory of what he does or the events on the ground and see where that is leading. For me, if America was going to throw in the towel, why the hell would it knock down dozens of bridges feeding to the south of the country? I mean, that's just obvious. It's a very obvious question. By the way, nobody calls this a war anymore, which is quite interesting. I mean, they're firing missiles at each other, killing people, and all the rest of it. There are about 100 lorries now stuck at the bottom end of Iran. They delivered goods, and they want to bring back fuels. They're filled up with fuels, and now they're stuck because all these bridges have been destroyed. So it's obviously affecting the livelihood of, thousands of people, and not to mention people who are losing their lives. And yet nobody calls this a war because they don't want, I don't know why Iran doesn't want to call it a war, by the way, because it would benefit them if they did call it a war, because it would effectively increase the prices in the West, for oil. And I would have thought that's their advantage, but maybe because of the internal politics that they don't want to follow the war. I don't know about that. But I can understand your frustration. But at the end of the day, they have to make a decision on the fundamentals here at the high level. Okay, it didn't work out. There was a miscalculation. It's a bit like me going down the road. Okay, I hit a dead end. What do? Do I turn around and come back home? Well, maybe not. Maybe I look at, Google Map and I find another way. And I think that's where we are.
I would suggest to you, Amir, that was your first mistake. You looked at Google Maps. Why can't we pull out a Rand McNally any longer? People don't know how to read maps. Thanks, Amir. Sin, I guess you get the last word.
No, so I thought I just saw the news about the Houthis threatening Saudi Arabia to cut off the Red Sea, and I'm like, what's going on there? Like, these are the two major chokeholds, right? So a lot of the oil that leaves the Middle East get blocked by the Strait of Hormuz, which goes to the Asia, and then the chokehold for Europe is the Red Sea. So combined together, we're looking at 30 to 40% of all the world trade. Actually, to be honest with you, it's more than that, but that's what the official numbers are. But I feel like without oil, it has a ripple effect on every other thing, right? Like, oil is a basis of every economy, at least fossil fuel, that is. Is Trump not capable of getting the deal that he wanted? And why are we not looking at and anticipating this move by the Houthis? And what do you think the U.S. policy should be going forward? Because I don't know if two major strings or choke points of the world affected is going to be a good thing for any economy. And as not a citizen, but as a person that's engaged in the economy of the world, should we worry about another major economic downturn because of this?
So, the Houthis, as we all know, are rebels in Yemen, and they are controlled and financed by Iran. So this is a front that's being opened by Iran. They're putting a greater squeeze because they see that the petrol flow and the petrodollar is a choke point politically for the United States. So they have declared today an immediate and total naval blockade against Saudi Arabia. Do they have the capability of doing this? I don't know, but that's what they declared. So at the very least, they have opened a dangerous new front, expanding the war, and I will call it a war. So there was a televised video statement by the Houthi military spokesman announcing this maritime embargo under the equation of an eye for an eye. The move is direct retaliation for the Saudi siege on Yemen and the recent coalition airstrike targeting Sana'a International Airport. And so it places critical global energy corridors under a double squeeze now. And I don't know, I'm not a student of history to that degree, and I know the term unprecedented is tossed around cavalierly, but I do not believe that there's been such a double squeeze before. So you're absolutely right in your analysis, Sin. Personally, since you asked me, I think one of the biggest mistakes in all of this was the president's failure to put together a coalition of the willing before going in. I don't know what he was thinking. We do not have Europe behind us, even though Europe is being impacted by all of this. And part of this also has to do with his derogatory remarks toward NATO. Could he have affected the NATO allies paying their fair share and doing more to provide self-protection without embarrassing them on the world stage in the manner in which he did? I don't know. And maybe it was a necessary tool and an effective one, his version of the art of the deal, to get them off off their rear ends to do what they needed to do. So at least what occurred as a result of this in that regard, I guess could be chalked up as a success of his administration. But the flip side of that is, what was the cost? And the cost, I believe, for what it's worth, I'm not an expert, others can disagree, but for what it's worth, I believe the cost is he alienated them so badly that there was no way he could go and ask for another coalition of the willing. Because if he had done it and had been turned down, he would have been embarrassed, and that would have made him a loser. And we know this president doesn't like losers.
So, can I be fair in your judgment and assessment?
I hope you are.
Not to say that you're wrong. I think those are weaknesses that could be attributed to the current president. But wasn't it Biden who stopped the Saudi Arabia finishing the job to get rid of the Houthis? Back in, if I'm not mistaken, in 2018 or prior to that, when Saudis, UAE, and all the Middle East countries were fighting. First, I think I don't know if it was Biden or Trump was in presidency, but the Saudis and the UAE and the Gulf Coalition had taken up the mantle in dismantling the Houthi threat, right? And the Biden administration put pressure on Saudi and the UAE to stop that war, which now we're paying for. So could it be fair to say that it's not just Trump, but the past two U.S. presidents have not done their due diligence in really foreseeing what is now what we're experiencing?
So most of the analysis on that would suggest that President Biden never had a realistic military or political opportunity to use your term, eliminate the Houthis. Completely destroying that group was never an option on the table because they're deeply entrenched. They're 200,000 strong, and they control territory housing 80% of Yemen's population. So without going to war against Yemen, how do you do that? The Republican Party has suggested repeatedly that, and some Democrats have as well, that Biden did a series of strategic calculations and policy shift opportunities to contain the group, and that emboldened them. But to suggest that he had the ability to eliminate the Houthis, most military analysts, not me, but most military analysts would say no.
No, I agree. I mean,
I'll get to you, Glow. We go one at a time here. Go ahead, Sam. You gotta wait to your turn.
So no, I agree with you. It's porous mountains, hard to attack, but there was no outwardly support for the Middle East and Saudi Arabia coalition that was trying to remove the Houthis from power. I don't think the U.S. was involved, nor the European Union. And to be honest with you, and hindsight is 2020, but the Iranians bragged that they have control of 2 choke points of the world, and that they got the world in their hands, their balls. They were bragging that they were the superpower who could do all this.
Right.
And we did nothing about it.
So here's the thing.
We did nothing about it.
All of these problems, the ones that you are talking about, the terrorist attacks, October the 7th, all of that could have been avoided had this regime not been in power. And I think the president was predisposed to eliminating the regime, but the strategy failed. And now we are where we are today. And along the way, he didn't gain support from the Europeans, which might have helped. And he didn't sell it to the American people, which certainly hurt. That's my analysis, anyways, for what it's worth. Thank you, Sin. Glow, followed by William.
I would love to continue after their
Glow.
I wanted to share just some news from Yemen. There's a new armed faction. It's called the Free Yemen Movement, and it has declared an uprising against the Houthis from inside Sana'a. We announced an armed uprising against the Houthi movement from within Sana'a due to the crimes committed by Iran and the Houthis. This uprising comes in response to the Houthi starvation, looting, theft, and killing of Yemenis, as well as their violation of, Yemen's sovereignty and the implementation of Iranian directives. Just that.
Okay, I don't know about this new use of the term Free Yemeni movement. The Free Yemen movement was actually the Free Yemeni movement. It's called Al-Ahrar, is that right? Do I say it right? That's an historical... I don't know anything about this new Free Yemen movement. I'd love to know more. So message me and tell me what you know. William, and I think we'll have time to go back to Zen.
I came up to... Basically, Amir said that the United States is the leader of the Western world. That's no longer the case. The United States is the wealthiest country in the Western world. The United States has the most powerful military of any single country in the Western world by far. But the United States has, as you were saying, Gary, broken their alliances. They've threatened other NATO members like Canada or the Kingdom of Denmark, threatening Greenland, which is part of the Kingdom of Denmark. The United States has changed from being the lead country within NATO to being the vendor to NATO. So the United States is no longer the leader, and part of that is really the Western world. The alliances are largely held together on economics and an ideological commitment towards democratic governance based on ideas of liberal democracy. And in this administration, there's been an attack upon the economic relationships with our allies, and there's been an attack on the national security, direct national security attacks on NATO allies, and the rest of the world is watching. Everybody sees this. People are paying attention that lead other countries. It's given a lot of uncertainty about our leadership and our commitments with our relationships with the East Asian countries. When we turn on our NATO allies, how does Japan or South Korea or Taiwan look at it? Well, yeah, Trump did get everybody to arm up, and Europe is increasing its military expenditures. Throughout Europe, basically the countries most close to Russia are spending the most, and Japan has changed their constitution, and they are increasing their military expenditures by a lot. South Korea is getting ready for war, and probably not doing it as seriously as they could, but they, all of our Western allies, the democratic allies that we had, are no longer looking to the United States for leadership, and they're beginning to look to each other and forming new relationships, new alliances, and basically trading around us economically to the extent that they can. We're a huge economic powerhouse. We've got the biggest economy of all of them, and they can't avoid us entirely, but they've been switching over to locally produced weapons systems to the extent that they can, rather than simply rely upon the United States. Take a look at the European stocks, and take a look at what's going on in Japan and South Korea. There is a lot of increased investment, and the goal of that increase in investment, by the way we have attacked our alliance structures, is less reliance upon the United States. So maybe Trump thought, oh, I'll beat up on all these countries like a mafia boss, and I'll get them to all kowtow and buy more weapons from the United States. And to some extent, he's been correct. They have. And to a large extent, they have been diversifying away from us, and we have lost the trust of our former allies, and we're no longer the leaders. So I think that's important to recognize and understand.
Thank you, William. We'll go to Sin, followed by Amir.
Right. So, no, great stuff. So, I think, Greg, you might appreciate my use of this word. America's been going through not a civil war, but a political civil war, right? Where the Democrat and the Republicans are not in the same page regarding where America's future lies, right? So we're suffering from that, right? And the world is seeing that, hey, they're not united. There's such division, and different political groups around the world will buy off a political organization against each other in order to. So like the empire, for all intents and purposes, is dying, right? And that's not a bad thing. America should have never been an empire. America fought off colonialism, built its wealth and its status by not oppressing other countries, but within its own confine. Not unlike the British Empire or the French or the other European empire. So we're not good at this as Americans, right? We're not great at being imperial power and being world leader, and we should have never been involved in that. It's just a haphazard of what happened in World War II with the British and the Germans, so forth and so on. Without going deep into the historical context, I would say that with great power comes responsibility. And we are responsible in how the world is going to be. We have a stake to play. Now, I think it's easy for us to just simply blame Trump, but I think he's reactionary, right? So he's reacting towards what he sees as a threat to what it is American power. And he's pressured the Europeans to take more action, but they said, no, we don't want to put boots on the ground. You gotta beg us, you gotta do all that, and maybe he lost patience, and maybe he should have been more patient, right? But the thing is, whatever it is, we're entering a multipolar world where power and structure are not only situated in one area of the world. Western power, the Chinese are coming up, the Russians have a role to play, and so forth and so on. And we have to be realistic, and I think Trump is the only realistic man out there right now. Not to say that the way he handled business is correct, and I think he takes decisions off the cuff rather than having a more well thought out policy. But he's dealing with the situation that the world is. We have to get over the center of power is no longer Washington, D.C. There are many centers of power, and this is going to continue for a very long period of time. And right now, who's hurt the most with the closure of the Strait of Hormuz is either China or Asian countries. Who's going to be hurt the most with the the Red Sea Strait, Balmenda being closed, Europe and North Africa, right? Where, all the wealth is accumulated, right? So who should be more responsible? It's the people that have a stake. America is a self-contained, insulated part of the world. We don't have a lot to lose here. The rest of the world do. And I think it's going to wake them up and take more responsibility that this type of action by the Iranians and the rebels in Houthi in Yemen, those are not contributing to a betterment of the world. They're not the group of people we want to see have a say in how this earth survives the next hundreds of years. We're not a best example. We do a lot of pollutions. We do a lot of crazy stuff and selfish stuff. I get it, but it's much better than the ideas of those countries. So right now, I think instead of blaming Trump and blaming America, the Europeans and the Asian countries need to wake up and see the path forward, which is to contain Iran and get rid of the Houthis. And I think the Houthis are the bigger threat to European wealth, and they should wake up and do something about it rather than complaining that Trump is not the greatest guy. He's done this, he's done that to us. No, now wake up and do what you need to do, which is to secure the Belt and Mandeb, which is a choke point for 10-20% of the world trade. And also, let's also keep in mind that Saudi Arabia's diverted all their oil resources to the Red Sea, and they need to come out through the Belt and Mandeb to go out there to Asia, right? So not only Belt and Mandeb is important to Europe, it's also now important to Asia as a choke point. So rather than saying Trump did this, he broke this, let's move on. Let's figure out the way forward. Get rid of the Houthis. Like I said before, the Biden administration put out a lot of pressures on the Saudis and forced them to stop their operation. If they had continued to do their operation by now, the Houthis would have been gone. And what else did we do not to support the Saudi coalition or the UAE coalition? So we're paying for the past political mistake of the Democrats, as well as the now mistakes that the Republicans have made under Trump. So it's a sticky situation, but we got to move forward because the world economy right now is under threat, and that affects all of us here and everyone around the world. The blame game is over. What are we going to do about this? This is my concern, Gray.
Thank you, Sin. I've got some breaking news.
Gary, sorry. I'd say Gray.
That's okay. I've got some breaking news that's directly related to today's discussion. The Pentagon now says nearly 100 U.S. troops have been injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. The disclosure follows a New York Times report today that the Defense Department was withholding from the American people casualty figures. A report that the Pentagon attacked is inaccurate. And then suddenly they release these figures. So nearly 100 injured in the last 2 weeks of the Iran war. Amir, followed by Matthew.
Just very quickly with regards to what William said, I tend to agree with a lot of points that he made, but it has to be seen in the context of Trump window in the US. The US is much, much bigger than Trump, and that's something that often gets confused. From, for example, the UK perspective, US is still the leader as far as, we do the largest trade with the US, and we heavily rely on US on the military side of things with NATO and the rest of it. And I think, to be honest with you, Trump, kicking gas of the EU countries is not a bad thing. It has kind of paid off in terms of, their defense spending and so on, which needed to be done because it was just a bit ridiculous. I think all US citizens would agree that, if it was only the UK that was really, and France perhaps, that was paying the 2.5% at the time, nobody else was really reaching that point, and they should do. And now they are doing and going beyond, which is a good thing. So those are the two things. And one other point which William made, which I thought was actually to some extent was answering his own questions or comment or point, and that was that the fact that it's not just about the trade or the military. It's also about the system of governance. It's about the values, about democracy, liberalism, and multi-party democracy, and everything else. And I think in all of those, we are on the same line, and definitely in many of those aspects, U.S. is leading, and I'm talking about U.S. Including the window of the Trump, but well beyond and above that. Thank you.
Thank you, Amir. Matthew, followed by Alyssa.
Hey guys. Yeah, man, I don't know. The war is expanding. Try to just go back to the topic of the room, but even if it expands, when I think of the Straits of Hormuz, for me, it's kind of like, imagine China trying to come to the Gulf of Mexico and controlling the Gulf of Mexico, like the ships coming in and out of the Gulf of Mexico or something like that. Like, the Straits of Hormuz, like, that is right next to Iran, and it's very thin, and Iran just needs, like, basically the smaller the better. The smaller the boats that they use to mess things up in the straits, and the more the drones they have, like, they don't even need to, like, blow anything up. They just need to, like, deny safe passage, right? So I just don't see any solution except for the U.S. Navy actually, like, leaving the straits, and then Iran may reopen it, and I think that's actually what's going to happen. I think there's going to be some negotiations in about 2 or 3 weeks. There'll be more bombing. There'll be more negotiations. The U.S. Navy will pull back, and the straits may open again. And then Trump might go back to bombing it, and then the Iranians will close it again by simply creating threats. I just don't see I just don't see any solution to it. It's very easy to attack. It's very easy to mess around with. It's classic, like, you know what it reminds me of is, during, like, the Revolutionary War, where the British troops would get off of their boats and they would, like, all line up in one line, the American rebels, right? And the American rebels would be picking off redcoats by hiding in the woods or hiding behind trees. That's exactly what's happening in Iran. You know, it's just classic. It's classic. What do you call that? Guerrilla warfare. You know, it's asymmetrical warfare, and the geography allows the IRGC to win this fight. I don't think it's possible at all. Is it expanding? Maybe some troops might get dropped off in a couple places in Iran to look for the nuclear material. But again, I think now there's Iran to build nuclear programs, because they probably see it as a kind of regime survival now. So I think this whole thing is going backwards. It's all going in the wrong direction.
Thank you, Matthew. Alyssa, followed by Dude.
Real quick. So, Iran, I think, I know I can see it. Like Trump doesn't want to hurt the non-radical people of Iran. But he started something that is not going to finish easily, because they are, you know how their oil was overflowing? They had to get rid of it somehow, and you know who's buying it from. I mean, if people will just turn on the news or just, I don't know, open their Twitter or X, they'll see their one of their allies, China, is helping them, and Russia is supplying them with more stuff, and they never got that dust out, and so they're still creating nukes. So I don't think this is gonna end quickly. And I was just like someone from, I don't know if anyone here is from England, but like if they could explain what is actually happening, because it's kind of gotten to them quicker, because I mean they're over in Europe and other countries in Europe. I don't know facts, but just what I've heard of in England and seen happen. Yeah, I wish Trump would have listened to all of the many retired generals that kept saying you cannot, which is obvious now, you cannot negotiate with these people. And that's all I wanted to say. Thanks.
Thank you, Alyssa. So you're right, Iran is actively attempting to rebuild and restore its damaged nuclear infrastructure. We don't know the extent of its success. There's a lot of debating about that, but I think there's universal belief that that is exactly what's going on. Dude, you get the last word.
Well, I'll just say that I hope that it doesn't expand, but it does seem to be the likely situation that the world is currently facing. Trade corridors matter. There are probably other trade corridors that are being worked on building. Africa being a continent rich in resources. Russia and China and America are probably looking at different economic and trade agreements that will either dissipate.
You cut yourself off there, dude. You stop talking mid-sentence. Go ahead, try it again, Bob. Apparently he's got a technical issue. Folks, we're here Monday through Friday at 5 o'clock New York time. So until 5 o'clock New York time tomorrow for the next edition of the Critical Thinking Forum. Everybody be safe, be well, and peace out.
sort of shared place with equal access to citizen and non-citizen alike. That is a place.
I will open a room now. I will open a room. If you are a man has balls, no problem. I will open a room.
How's it going? Doing all right, man. Good to see you one time. Yes, sir.
Yeah, but you too. I've never had a problem, getting a PDF from an author ever, but
It's about society, though. That's not a prediction. I can sit there and say, yeah, in the next 250 years, there's going to be a war between this country and that country, and the chances that I'm right are significantly high, especially with how fucking countries operate. You're making blanket statements about society. You're saying, oh my God, that's the correct.
And he talks about water being one of those things that he brought into existence. We're not disputing that. The statement that the Quran is making, right, that God is making in the Quran, that God is revealing to us,
I understand.
right, is that,
What?
right, all living things, all living things in order
We'll talk some more. What's he saying?
And these people, I mean, Neanderthals.
and this is why my title, y'all will
Tell me what
regret.
he's saying.
Neanderthals.
Yeah, right. What's he saying?
This is what they are. Look how they behave. Like Neanderthals.
Okay, tell me what he's saying,
It's
right?
not just
Tell
the
me
white.
what God's saying in his book, in the Quran. The newer book. What's he saying? Tell me about it again.
It's so easy, even the case.
But all living things are created from water.
That's what he said. All living
Well,
things are created from water.
well, Bronco, can you recite the verse directly so that I don't
You're saying that evolution is true.
Yeah, I'll pull the verse up.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you believe in evolution then,
No,
basically.
no.
What do you mean?
No. Don't speak for my belief. You don't have to speak for my belief. Let me tell you like this. This is a police stop.
No,
Okay.
that's what evolution
You don't.
says.
Let me tell you like this. You do
Yeah, but that's what
not.
evolution
Okay. Well, if
says.
evolution says it, right? Show me that
So you
prior
disagree
to
with
the Quran.
evolution?
Show me that prior to the Quran because that was the argument.
Sure.
That was my statement. Yeah.
Well,
Show
no, sure.
me any literature prior to the Quran that stated this.
Oh, I would say I already told you Genesis.
No,
That's
it does not state that. We already went over that. We're not talking about God creating water. We know God is the creator of all things. That's what Genesis is stating, okay? When water came into existence. We're not talking about when water came into existence. No, absolutely not. The dependency of water and the creation of the
Yeah, there
human
was
being
no
is
life.
what we're actually
There was
speaking
no life
about.
on Earth. It was a dark void.
That's what we're speaking about. The dependency,
Water.
the
It was a
dependency
dark
of
void.
water, and
It was
guess what?
like
It
a
was
child.
other things created before water, right? And Earth was still Earth with life.
Yeah, so it's just
With
the same
life,
thing.
even
It's
in
just different
Genesis, Earth was
symbolic
Earth
thought.
with life without
Yours
the
is
water.
the newer
But
stuff.
God stated, but look at it, and this is why you all will regret.
Talk with Rocco.
Okay.
Listen to something. Look at the sky for a lot. Didn't see any birds laying up there. And battle flies that are eating my wound. Like I'd feel something and it'd be painful and I'd be like, see, there's like a fly on there and I'd look and it'd be like, yeah, it'd be like two of them even.
I seek refuge with Allah from Shaitania curse. Did the unbelievers not realize that the heaven and the earth used to be one solid mass, that we exploded into existence, and from water we made all living things?
Into existence.
Would they believe?
I don't know who says we exploded into existence. I don't really think so. Hey Ray, you're hot, Megan. So that's to be expected. So you guys are just arguing for evolution then when you say that.
No, we're not arguing on behalf of evolution.
Why not?
We're arguing on behalf that
Well,
there's
how else
no
does God
God
do it?
but
How else
God.
does God do it?
What?
How else does God do it?
How else does God do it?
Do the life that we see on the planet.
You said how by repeating it,
He doesn't use evolution.
by repetition.
He doesn't use evolution.
By repetition.
Yeah, that's
because
part of evolution.
you shouldn't believe in evolution because you said that they were able. Hold on, it wouldn't be evolution. It wouldn't be evolution, right? By your own admission, right? You said that it would be evolution by your own admission. It was either you or Mark. I don't know which one was talking, but right, it wouldn't be considered evolution when you agreed to the notion that there was literature written and there was people able to discover certain things back then, right? That wouldn't be evolution, would it? If today, right, how would humanity evolve if the same things back in the day they have discovered, they're discovering today? That wouldn't be evolution.
Yeah, I don't know what you're referring to. Can you give me an example?
You said it. You literally said, what were we talking about? We were talking about, what point did I bring?
I don't know what you hear. Cause
no. That was his point, evolution.
You talk really loudly fast.
So basically, well, turn your phone down. We have options. Remember, God don't remove our choice. But anyway,
that's okay.
He was talking about. He mentioned evolution, right? And he said we believe in evolution. I said, well, by his own admission, right? Because earlier he brought up when we mentioned the water thing, right? When we mentioned the verses in the Quran, the sign of the water, right?
Sounds like Genesis,
he brought up, he said, oh, well, this was written in Genesis or whatever, right? And I'm saying absolutely not. This wasn't written in Genesis, right? This is something that later that would prove evolution, rather than him saying, oh, what they did then is what they're doing today. That wouldn't be evolution because they're not evolving. Nothing evolved. It's the same shit from the past into the future.
What are you talking about?
Sure, you can act now.
You don't take a lot of meds during the day, do you? You usually just take them for
No, I'm not you. If exactly, if there's evolution, why are things staying the same? By your admission, things are the same based upon you saying, oh yeah, we're talking about a new phenomenon. You're talking about something of the past. You're talking about something of the past. Yes. That you're saying, oh yeah, they had that information back then. That wouldn't be evolution.
Who had it?
You're so smart, you're stupid.
Who had what information?
Say that again.
I just don't know what you're fighting about. Like, what are you fighting against?
I don't know what you're fighting. You said that.
All I said is you're arguing for evolution. That's all I said.
No, you're arguing on behalf of evolution.
Yeah, I am.
We agree with you about evolution. We said we agree with you. Sure. Does the world evolve? We're not arguing on behalf of evolution. We're not arguing on behalf of evolution. Sure. Does the world evolve? Absolutely. Are you sad that there's a God and that your homosexual ass or pedophile ass will be held to account? Or whatever you're doing? Only people who don't believe in God, respectfully, are the worst amongst society. You do some of the most detestable things. The detestable things.
Yeah, you want me to share the data?
The detestable thing. Well, let's show the data about how more white Americans are atheists. Let's show the data on that.
Did you know that it's mostly white Christian men that are perpetuating
all of
it?
It's more.
Did you know that? Factual.
Well, theirs are reported, right? Because people don't go around saying, yeah, I'm an atheist. People don't go around saying, yeah, I'm an atheist.
Send me the studies you're
what they believe in when they fucking rape somebody or when they fucking look at child porn. They don't go around saying, I'm an atheist. This is why I looked at it. So, of course, it's going to be reported more. I'm no fool, you know what I mean? Of course, it's going to be reported more as far as churches and all of this stuff because they allegedly supposed to be Christians.
You gotta keep the mask on longer. It's okay.
But nobody is going to be like, I'm an atheist and I rape somebody. That's dumb as shit.
Keep the mask on longer than that. You don't have any drop symptoms.
It's dumb. It's dumb.
Hi, Ray. I'm happy to be here in the name of God. I joined the house. Thanks for having me, Ray.
No problemo, huh?
Yeah, so it still sounds like, based on your reasoning, you would be arguing, in fact, for evolution, based on your reasoning. But that's okay.
Hi, Ray. I've heard Honey Badger in other rooms, and he doesn't really say anything intelligent. He kind of just, like, does this put-down game, but doesn't actually say anything. He doesn't state any facts or any opinions. He kind of just, like, comes into rooms and just doesn't really say anything. So I want to thank you for leading the room. All praise God, death to the atheists. They are low IQ. They are lonely, bored people, and I feel bad for them that they don't like to read books and they just come onto a conference call app to make their self-esteem, feel better. That's my observation.
Thank you, Progressive. I appreciate your input. I'm gonna chew on that and see if I can become better. We gotta hear that ding and that triangle in the background. I don't know, what would you call them? Philosophers, maybe? Or what do you consider Alan Watts? Ray, isn't that true? You love Alan Watts?
Anybody who really is motivated, they take time, they really care about what knowledge is, how to obtain it, how to get more of it, how to think about it critically. Anybody who does that would be, by definition, a philosopher. It's just the dedication and the love for wisdom.
I love wisdom, and I read books. Many people in this room probably do not. But I was just reading about German ideology, Marx and Engels, and collectivists and socialists, and the horror and the terror of war. And it kind of strikes me that many of those people who were fighting to the death in Stalingrad, just 1 million people died. I'm sure there were atheists, and I'm sure that there were, theists fighting to the death, and they thought that what they were doing was moral and ethical, and maybe would solve all the problems for all of mankind, and they'd say, we did it. I sacrificed my life to solve this riddle that so many people seem to struggle with, whatever that riddle might be. But when it comes to violence, I try to avoid it as much as possible, because if you're around violence, you could die. And so I prefer the comfort of my house full of books and conference calls where people can't punch me in the nose. But it just strikes me as amazing that people waste so much time having irreverent conversations over and over again, repeating themselves endlessly, as if it's like a video game that they just love, or one of their favorite movies like Terminator 2 or Back to the Future. And it just amazes me as I observe human behavior, how bored and lonely and, not creative people are. Pretty lame. I don't know what they're afraid of or what they're hiding. But maybe you're right, Ray. Maybe these faggot atheists are just pedophile loser faggots. It's just my opinion.
I'm still gonna give you an applause.
Theatrical, yeah. I don't know. Maybe these non-believers, they just do so many weird things, and I'm not weird at all myself. Maybe I go out there and I look at everybody and I observe everybody, and I'm not the fucking weirdo myself. Not one bit. Not me.
It was good though. I liked the message, and I thought it was even good comedic timing, the way he dropped that gotcha at the end as a punchline. I thought it was pretty good. I'd give it an 8, like a 7.9. 7.9. Thought it was good because I did agree with the message. I thought it was pretty poignant, and I agreed with it, most of it. That was cool. So thanks, Progressive.
His name's John. John Kitlover.
John. Oh, okay.
John Kitlover. Get it right.
Cause Ray was like seeming like I understand she's got a lot on her plate, and I don't blame or fault her, but she was seeming a little bit elevated with me and you earlier, so it was just nice and refreshing,
John Kitover. Sorry.
Yeah, well, whatever your name is, progressive, liberal, thank you so much for everything. Appreciate it. I guess that's why progressive liberals exist, is to bring poetry, meaning, an open door, carrying hands, So thanks. Really appreciate that, progressive.
You're welcome. Ray, I'd like to read a poem to these atheist faggot pedophiles who are extremely bored and lonely and who are uncreative. They don't create anything. They just come on here to kick guys like me to the goo or kick me from the rooms to make their self-esteem feel better. Like Honey, he'll say, oh yeah, John Kitover, he comes up here, I love it, he says a poem, and then he just like leaves and goes back down to the goo. But that's because Honey is actually a very effeminate man who doesn't have resilience or can't, even have a conversation with somebody, even if it's an irreverent conversation, because the truth is Honey is a very fragile person. He's very weak. He has no real strength and no real joy. And as a progressive liberal, I feel it's incumbent upon me to help these young men that the system failed, to make them stronger, to give them the joy and the wisdom that they are lacking as faggot pedophiles, losers and abusers and lonely people and non-creative people. I feel it's my calling in life to help these faggot retards.
Thank you again, progressive, and I do appreciate your input. And I will I've been writing a lot of this down, so I'm gonna review this later tonight after I get back from church, and I'll be just kind of taking what you've shared with us to improve my vision. Thank you.
And not one person will think that you are a lunatic and a fucking weirdo yourself, progressive. Not one person is going to think that. You're not fucking weird. You're not some fucking bizarro, crazy motherfucker online. No. Not you.
And I do wish you well. I hope your stand-up paddleboarding exploits are a service to you and others in your community. I know you have been running for Congress for quite a while now, and I hope you get in. I hope you made it. Wouldn't you agree, Ray?
Would I agree with what?
That basically when you say that, like if someone says, hey, everything that's involved with life had to have water beforehand, it came from water, that would be in line with evolution theory, correct?
Don't try to, Mark, I'm not going to let you escape the dumb statement you made. So
Well,
you're trying to
you don't want to answer that
comfort
question.
yourself. Yeah, you're trying to comfort yourself right now.
Well, you don't want to answer that
But
question.
you know it's dumb as fuck.
Yeah.
Honey, if the human body is 98% water and you weigh 185 pounds, what's the molecular weight of the H2O contained within the cells in the skin of your body?
Like 140 pounds. 160 pounds.
I'm just making a little joke here. Ray, I just want to thank you in the name of God for having this room. You attract the flies just like horse flies to manure or squirrel poop or honey badger poop. You are like the candle that brings these mutant moths to the barnyard or to the church or the library, or what you might say, library. And I just want to read a little poem to all the lonely, non-creative, faggot retards. It's called The Devil, and I hope that this helps illuminate you and teaches you a little wisdom about how retarded and how much of a faggot you are. To this key of grotesque and terrible aspect is attributed mirth. The devil is that horrible character of exoteric dogmatism which is so ridiculous to an enlightened person like Progressive Liberal here on Clubhouse. But deeper than this, the figure represents the delusion of outward appearance. Key 15 is the opposite of key 6. Hence it shows what happens to us when we fail to use our faculty of discrimination. The ancients declared that the devil is God inverted. This refers...
That we were food by their skin. I heard it when Mark said what he said like a little bit, like maybe 3 minutes ago. I heard you know what he was saying. I wasn't listening then. I just started listening. Yeah, so when I got on, I heard Mark with him. I'm like, what is this? Like, you can tell.
Hello?
They think we don't know any better. We see right through you.
You see right through me? What do you see if I'm transparent? Hello?
You are. You see through, bruh. Yeah. See through like a butter.
Hello?
Don't do this thing,
Well, since you don't like my poetry, maybe I could play you a little song on my Chinese flute as you look through me.
By the way, Progressive is a believer.
Interact with the stupidest fucking people.
What's your degree in?
I mean, technically I have a bunch, but I have political science.
College?
Banana?
Technically, you have a bunch of degrees. I've never heard anybody say that before.
Yeah, I have a political science, I have a journalism, and I have a generalized theology degree.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yes, I use my theology degree, and I used to use my political science degree.
What career do you have?
I teach intro classes.
Oh, that's awesome. On what level?
It's horrible. College.
Which university or college you teach at?
I don't feel comfortable sharing that information.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Hi, this is Progressive Liberal. I'd like to say something about the title of the room, if I may, moderators.
Progressive. Of course. Go on.
Oh my god, is this fucking John?
Yes.
Oh.
Hi, moderators. Thanks for having me on your stage. With regards to Muslims being saved, I just want to say that to a Christian, it's not really that important to save a Muslim per se.
I handled it like a champ. I just thanked him a lot, and I was very.
What did he do? Did he just sit there?
It was pretty funny. I mean, he actually, I was giving him mostly applause because it was pretty funny.
Yes.
Talking to somebody else who was like a believer. Oh, you're in the Muslim walk. Ray. So I just come out of there, and then I come in here, it's Baghdadi too.
Well, since you don't want to hear my opinion about the room title,
Come to the conclusion that you have the evidence to justify the claim that God does exist and that you know He exists?
Yes, I have the evidence.
I'd love to hear it.
The evidence is us here now. That's it.
Oh my god.
Look at the trees.
Yeah, it's
That's
evidence.
horrible.
Look at the clouds, look at the moon.
That is horrible.
Baghdadi, it's evidence of Brahma.
A lot of evidence.
Hey, is it evidence of Brahma?
A lot of
I love that JCC made it a song. Look at the trees. Look at the birds.
Look at my dirty knees, I fall down when I climb these trees. I get mesmerized when I look in the sky at the birds that fly by. I get dizzy in a haze from climbing these trees. Trees, thank goodness for God.
Atheists and
Oh, here we go. Now we can't prove his position. He's going to go into attack mode. Okay, come on then, let's hear it.
Yeah, the funny thing that we both have in common is that we both agree that the magic happened.
No magic. Zero magic.
It just happened without a magician.
No magic.
Yeah. Demons believed it was.
Nobody believes in magic.
We both believe the magic happened though.
Dilute
There is no
them even more.
magic.
Not magic.
Dilute Baghdadi
There's
even
only-
more with them. Go on their little ride with them and dilute God.
Reality.
Brother said Houdini was a great magician, guys. He was in fact real. He did in fact.
He died.
He's gonna pivot to evolution. He's gonna pivot to evolution. I totally know what's going on.
One of Houdini's acts that he tried to trick people with, he died from, so he wasn't the greatest.
We call that karma's a bitch.
Karma.
I want to talk to Baghdadi about the fact that we exist as mammals. Would you say we're animals, Baghdadi?
I would say we're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
We're whatever we are.
Are we animals?
I wouldn't say animals, but I wouldn't say not.
You wouldn't say no, right? You would say that we're not animals.
I would say whatever we are. You know, it's just how you want to look at it.
Definitely give her the option. Money, power.
Hey, let's see what's going on, Viv. What'd you say, Viv? What's going on?
I've been here for a few more days and then headed back.
Oh, okay. You're still in the States then.
Yeah.
How do you feel about ranch dressing?
I don't really fuck with it.
Have you tried?
It's bullshit calories.
Ranch dressing is garbage, by the way. So, apparently there's a thing.
allow myself to introduce myself.
Oh shit, this is not who you think it is.
Hand raising.
No, this is not who you think it is. This is our next president-in-chief.
I just came to participate in a happy hour.
I think you made the hour sad.
I brought my Chinese flute.
I definitely feel like when he went to high school, there were some unresolved sexual assault charges.
Projection mirror says what? The projection detection system has been activated.
Okay. So Viv. Ranch dressing. Did you try it?
See, Viv, in America, ranch dressing is best used on a chopped salad or to dip your pizza in.
I have dipped my crust in ranch dressing. I have done
Do you think that? Did you think it was good?
that.
And Viv, how about you?
Have we really nothing else to talk about?
Let's talk about this. Toilet paper. Rolls paper up or down?
Up. Otherwise, you're an animal.
Interesting. You have an opinion. I've never actually done it with intent.
Let's do a quick toilet paper survey. Who here uses a baby wipe after they drop a deuce at 8 a.m. and throw that baby wipe in a separate garbage?
You do.
Get the flush.
Yeah, that's actually so random. That's funny as shit. It's not really that random. But they're not actually flushable. People totally clog the fuck out of your pipes.
It hasn't happened yet. So.
Do you live in a building?
Nope.
Really? So they will, and they are. You just haven't noticed it.
I do.
They don't break down the same way paper does.
Yes, but I don't use them every day, so it allows time for them to flow through.
I feel like a bidet is a much better choice than a wipe.
I've been told that, but I have not been told yet.
You put the water on your ass and like wherever the hell you're spraying it. That's something you gotta get used to that. No?
No, what do you mean? Have you ever taken a shower? Not used to water on your body? What does that
Hi
mean?
everybody, welcome back to Happy Hour, where Clown House users are confirming that they have shit on their ass right at this moment.
What's up, Janelle?
What do you mean? Seriously, why would you?
Your first use at Austin, it wasn't like a little shopping.
No, it was like nice, comfortable spray. Oh, that's nice. And then there's a little dryer to dries it. The spray's warm.
Oh, you have a dryer too.
Yeah, it's got a little hair dryer and stuff. And
Interesting.
yeah, the door, like it's got a whole, does the whole thing. It's just self-warming.
Oh, that's a fancy one. Janelle, do you have a bidet?
Bidet, the guy doesn't even have a bathtub. He's got a walk-in shower.
I gotta be honest, if I get the parasite, I'll be very happy to have that bidet.
Everybody's talking about this explosive diarrhea salad parasite, and they just came out and said it was all fake news. It was alleged. It was presumptuous of the CDC to diagnose America with explosive diarrhea.
What was fake news? That it exists because it's existed for a long time.
That it's a pandemic, I guess.
Robert
I
Kennedy,
don't know what called it a pandemic.
at the CDC conference call, Kennedy was like, "We got a problem with explosive diarrhea. The salad's all infected with E. coli, and everybody's getting explosive diarrhea."
Listen, do you have a girlfriend, John?
Projection mirror says what?
Do you have a girlfriend? I think you have a girlfriend.
If I had a girlfriend, would I be in a conference call called Happy Hour instead of having her sit on my face right now?
That's a great question, by the way.
You have a wife, not a girlfriend.
Can you answer that, Austin?
Austin, I've been divorced 140 times. I'm currently single. Are you a matchmaker? Because I'm looking for a matchmaker that specializes in neurodivergent faggot retards. Who goes by Austin Powers in 2026? He's been proven to be a faggot retard.
I'm not matching with you. But so look, you're
just requested a rematch with faggot retards. What's the most faggoty retarded thing about you?
Oh God, there's so much. I don't even know where to start. Maybe the.
Just start at the beginning.
Well, I'm
Not
bald.
that beginning, the other
I'm
one.
bald, so you know a lot of people like to say catfish, but now they're calling it bald fish. Yeah, the top. I'm starting at the top. I'm bald.
I mean, about not about your
I'm
appearance,
beautiful.
about the spirit. But what makes you the most faggoty retard?
Oh, my faggot retard spirit. Well, listen, I like to call it a HAP or an EAP, which are an acronym for a highly annoying person or an extremely annoying person. And I think if you observe my behavior and cross-compare it with the behavior of other people on this app, you will find out that I am actually not a highly annoying person. That could be you. You could be that extremely annoying person, but not
That's
me.
fair, but-
Hello? David, welcome to the room.
Yeah, so, John, as you were pointing out there, but that's just a relative comparison. So, of course, when you're doing it like that, you're gonna find that. So, let's go back to what you want to find in your future 141st ex-wife.
Wait, you've been divorced before, Chicago?
Yeah, according to Maimonides, my favorite Jewish rabbi, I'm a divorcee 140 times over because every woman you've ever slept with is technically your cosmic wife.
Really?
No, your hand doesn't count.
That's fucked up, by the way.
Yeah.
An interesting point, though.
Well, cosmically speaking, there's really no way to have an experience with. It's not important how old I am, Dr. Powers.
I guess 35, right?
No.
Let's see, no, he's
definitely older than that.
He's mid-40s.
Yeah.
Or low 50s.
40.
I'm 43, and if you want to see my social security card, it's tattooed on my arm if you want to see it.
43 minus 18. All right, so that's 25, right? And then,
Division.
yeah, so...
David, welcome to Happy Hour. What are you drinking, Dr. David?
So,
Chicago, have you been to, I'm going to Paris next week. Do you have any recommendations in Paris?
Oh, go to the Bourgeois cafe and then go to the Proletariat nightclub.
Can you send me the link?
John, have you ever been in a long-term relationship?
Austin, I've been engaged, and yes, I've been in long-term love affairs, Austin. What's your point, Doctor?
I'm just trying to figure out your numbers here, because, you know, it looks like you were getting married and divorced every 2 months since you were 18.
Well, what's important...
So you're denying that he has 140? Is that what you're saying?
No, he says he has 140 ex-wives. That would require him every 2 months to get married and divorced.
That's also your IQ score. Wow.
David, when are we going to the hockey game, buddy?
With all due respect, I probably wouldn't invite you.
Well, thank you very little.
John, I'm going to challenge you to do something kind for a stranger today.
Really? Well, I've already done that, actually. I got one of well, I won't go into too many details, but I did an act of charity this morning.
You didn't talk to someone else on the elevator?
No, I was a gentleman and I helped someone in a bind.
Okay, so Chicago, if you don't have any Paris recommendations, I'll be in London as well. Do you have any recommendations in London?
Oh yeah, go to the Playboy Club and see my ex-wife. Her name is
in
Rose
Mayfair. I've been to
Marhata.
that. I've been there.
She's a key girl. She's an absolute perfect 10. Her name is Rose Marhata.
She's a London 10 though.
After I stoop.
Yeah, you know, so I've been with more than a few girls from London, but none of them were British. They were all...
Yeah, London Bridge is falling down.
Yeah. No offense to anybody in the room who's British, but, you know, these British girls, not so much.
Wow.
What do you mean?
So a London 10 is like a New York 5.
No.
Like, what do you mean? Like, what do you mean, Dave?
Yeah, like a London 10 is like a New York City 5.
David,
So you're from New York, right? From New York City 5? That's giving whatever.
David, when was the last time you had sex and you didn't have to pay for it?
I don't answer that question.
When has anyone ever had it and not paid for it? Ever?
That's actually a good question too. FYI.
That is a good question.
Yeah.
I'm just saying, I'm wondering how David views
The
love.
question is, when have you had it and not regretted it?
That's actually a good question too.
That's a good
Sort of.
question. I've heard if you want to fuck her in the ass, that's how you know you love her.
Wow.
Nah, man, I'm not about.
That's not one of those good questions?
No, that's not a great question.
What if you want to fuck her in the ass and you realize that in this scenario, you are the ass?
Yeah, man. Once you go there, it's all over. Like, it's downhill, in my opinion. But go ahead.
No, I agree. But I've seen some porno videos that made me rethink some of my past former sexual experiences, and I thought to myself, you know what? I would like to have tried that position with that person.
Wait, so Albert, do you have any recommendations for me?
Chicago, with a little bit of surgery, you could get that, confident voice you're going for.
I've already shaved down my vocal cords.
What about in Paris or London? Do you have any recommendations?
Yeah, enjoy it. It's great. They're both great cities. But don't go.
Yeah, I know. I've been there.
David, here's my recommendation for you. Update your Hinge settings to Paris, then London, and so have your...
I don't use Hinge.
Well, this is what you need to do. This is the recommendation. Because once you download Hinge and you do your photo verify and then you update your geolocation to Paris and London and you start swiping right, well, now you've built up a little social network, kind of like a conference call app for loser faggot retards that waste all their time and are bored and lonely and don't create anything called Clown House. Something you're very familiar with. Hello?
See, that was just straight up mean, man. Why are you being mean?
Yeah, that's not nice. That's not nice.
Because when people come to me for advice, I give them good advice. But if they don't take my advice, well, then they just confirm my diagnosis of faggot retard. Hello?
Nice, man. Were you dropped as a child? Like, did your mommy not love you?
Sergio, I actually have a recommendation, dude, but I'll give it to you in private.
Yeah.
The Scout. Hopefully it's better than the Playboy Cup.
Man, I don't know. I mean, there's no need, like, do you not like him? And then, I mean, it's okay. But to be mean, just to be an asshole, that's not cool.
Oh, well, David was asking for some unfiltered advice. I thought I'd share some good ideas with him, but he's a lazy
What's up, Austin?
faggot retard.
I tried to hook line, but you did not accept.
Oh, I'm sorry. Do it again.
David's the kind of guy who's so lazy he doesn't even have a Hinge account. And then when I look at my friends' Hinge accounts, they are so lazy they don't even message the girls that they've matched with. I say just copy and paste a response. You're not even talking to people. God, you're fucking lazy. So welcome back to Happy Hour.
Oh, and now he's gone?
Oh, they'll be back. They just wanted to share some gay little locations about where they can have
He's
their
gay, obviously, right?
best little gay sex.
He's gay?
I don't know. I don't think so.
I've never met him. I have no idea. Doesn't matter. Like, whatever.
Yeah, he can orgasm in Paris however he chooses to orgasm. I'm not interested in his orgasm news.
Why are you so, interested in calling him a piece of shit? That's what's weird to me.
I didn't call him a piece of shit.
You kind of did, man.
But I didn't say he's a piece of shit, did I?
No.
Not directly. I did not. That's your interpretation. That's your assumption.
That's my direct way of listening to you talk to other people.
It's very simple. That's how I do it.
Oh, that's your observation of my behavior.
It seemed like you don't like him. Like you were being an asshole to him.
Well, what did I say? What did I say that was so insulting to David Bobadilla?
I don't know what you said to him. You call him a fag and whatever, right?
Oh, a faggot retard is a term of endearment nowadays.
Okay, wonderful.
Haven't you ever been to a happy hour before, faggot? Oh, I'm sorry, I got my happy hour events mixed up. I thought this was the LGBTQAI plus happy hour. My bad, boys.
That's actually pretty funny. Go ahead. Keep going. I don't know why you're being an asshole.
So I'm just saying that, like, if you've never looked up LGBTQIA plus and you don't know what the plus is, it means twin flame. It comes from a 1990s indigenous tribe that had rotating work assignments for both males and females. It's called twin love. Plus inclusive!
I mean, you definitely have a creative mind, bro, which is good. I hope you're using it. Like, it's fun to listen, sort of. I hope it's productive.
Oh, it's super productive. It's more productive than David Bobadilla. Oh, by the way, I'm going to Moscow. I'm going to Moscow on Friday. Have any recommendations for me?
Left on your ass, bro. I don't know why they left, but it's cool. I would rather you not just badger people, but go ahead.
This is a happy hour, Albert. You know, people are here to take some shots. Relax a little. They ran off to their little private. They'll be back. They got nothing better to do. Why do you think they were here? They got nothing to do.
No, maybe they want to have some fun and talk about, interesting shit, man. Not be berated or bullshitted. That's not, like, I don't know if that's in your vernacular.
Yes, absolutely, yes.
So you got all of these degrees on your wall, and now you slow all of a sudden doing a company. One can tell the truth.
I answered your question. I said yes.
You don't want to tell the truth, so just...
I don't have a problem with the truth. I don't.
want to tell the truth, so just leave quietly.
I don't have a problem with the truth. I just felt...
Because you're saying, oh, when this morning? No, yesterday.
Well, yes, absolutely.
Welcome to the podcast.
Welcome.
We have Mayor candidate John Kitover on the show. Hey everyone, welcome John Kitover.
Hello?
Hey,
Hello? Hey, this is mayoral candidate John Kitover. Hey, Max, how are you doing, sir? How's the campaign coming along?
The TV show is great. John, you did something that's very unorthodox, but also there's some throwbacks. There's a lot of, former Governor Mike Huckabee, who played the saxophone. Bill Clinton famously would join up on stage, too, with saxophone and guitar. Can you tell the audience on your decision to start the John Kitover band in the middle of your mayor's race?
It's right. Every time I go out on a Friday or Saturday night and I film a band, I automatically label them the John Kitover Band on YouTube.
Brilliant. So kind of like a Wu-Tang Clan situation where there's different iterations, different clans, every Thursday and Friday. That's really cool. How is the race, John? How are you feeling? What's your favorite flavor of ice cream?
Rocky. I've always liked Rocky Road. I love the marshmallow, the fudge, the walnut. I mean, who doesn't like a good Rocky Road?
To keep things light, what are your thoughts on Israel versus Palestine? What are you thinking?
Well, Rabboni Shalom, I heard they have a New York City subway down there below the Gaza Strip, and they're still shifting munitions and fighting. Why can't we just have peace in the world? Rabboni Shalom. Shawarma for everybody!
It's called halal buckets. They sell like Gaza chicken strips. I think that's very clever as a dish.
Nice.
But, no, I was calling you, there's what's it called? Tishbov.
Tishbov.
Are you on the white party at Guantanamo?
Rabboni Shalom, I want to meet a hot brunette Jewish chick named Tish.
It's a singles party.
Tish with a tush.
Actually, it's the date that I got married. And as soon as I got married on, which that was the big mistake, because we got married on the holiday portion. But the after portion is supposed to be very romantic. You know, we're supposed to meet someone. But no, yeah. Aaron Del Mar in the news.
Yeah, for what?
We'll find out.
What, the lawsuit?
The lawsuits. It's the David Pritchard suing him too.
For what?
For you saw the video of the whole guy getting arrested.
Yeah.
I didn't have a credible. There's probably a credible argument. They probably know more than I do. Then Aaron probably leaned on his Palatine connections to make that happen. Because they're suing the city of Palatine, Aaron, and the guy that called him in. Because there might have been enough to charge it. I don't know, but they charged him with assault. That's crazy. He got found not guilty, by the way. And I was at the trial, and I would invite you to live stream, but you go to jail if you live streamed it. But that judge looked like he wanted to kill himself the entire time. He's like, this is so embarrassing. He told both sides to shut up. You're hurting your case. Stop talking. And when I look at the judge, his name is Nowitzki. He's one of those judges that they got demoted for. He basically would let off two people that ended up murdering. He was domestic court judge. And two people he puts slaps on the wrists on, during domestic violence trials, they ended up murdering their spouses or significant others. And so they demoted him. And so he was on freaking Dave Pritchard Palatine GOP trial. Kill me. The entire time. Hands on the face, smirking, angry contempt, yelling at all the lawyers. So it's pretty interesting. But basically I talked to the Dave Pritchard side lawyer, and he texted me straight up. They're suing Aaron. And are we on the podcast?
Yeah, you're live on the clown. You're live on the clown show on the clown world.
I want to break some news. There's some news that we're getting that this lawsuit is actually funded by Brian Castle, because he's upset that Aaron removed his son from the in person.
Welcome to Clown World.
But really, all politics. They say all politics is local. That's not true. All politics is petty.
Welcome to Clown World!
Tell them what you want. What's the word of the day?
Oh, man. That's exciting news.
Live, man. Very exciting news. And I got to write some articles, do my thing. I got my new startup company I'm very excited about. And, that's good.
What's our Polymarket investment fund doing this for the rest of the year? I think we're gonna make some bets on Polymarket.
No, I'm sitting in Cauchy, and I've just been earning the 4%. I haven't made a bet in a couple months. I made a bunch of March Madness bets, and I think I basically bet on a bunch of different teams, and I think I came out on top by 10%. Let's say I put in 500, I made 550. And I'm we're gonna. So my biggest bet I made was on Bob Trietti. I made $250 off him. I fucked up without telling you that. And so basically, Bob Trietti was trading at 75 cents, but he had Andy Williams was his only opponent, and he was running as a write-in.
Oh my gosh.
So that was pretty. That was that's the thing with Polymarket and Cauchy is the key is look for the micro markets, markets that have less than $10,000, $15,000 in it. And then try to find the Bob Trietti stuff that just is that doesn't make sense because it's so small. And the difference between Cauchy and Polymarket is you're more likely to see that on Cauchy, because Polymarket is basically you have to put up the money to make the market, versus Cauchy puts up their own money to make the markets. So basically the community says hey, I want to put a market for mayor's race, whatever, and then Cauchy has to give the green light. Whereas the Polymarket, I'm pretty sure you on your own. You can say, well, John Kitover will be mayor. But that could be interesting too, is because I think the opportunity for you to make money is maybe you can kind of be a market maker. That's my name on Cauchy. I'm a market maker. Do you know what Harpo? That was my favorite from the Marx Brothers, dude. I love a huge Harpo fan.
I was just reading.
Pretty lady, yeah.
Yeah, Jerry Lewis. Oh my God, he ended up being a total jerk. Did you see? I saw a video of his daughter.
All the charity people were probably weirdos, like him and Bob Hope and.
Yeah,
I'm sure he was a weirdo.
I heard Bob Hope
And,
that.
and his movies don't like. He basically was the Adam Sandler of his time, but like his movies don't. They don't like stand the test of time. Like I could watch Duck Soup tomorrow or Animal Crackers. And like laugh my ass off. Watch Marx Brothers tonight, you'll laugh.
Yeah, I've got DVDs on Marx Brothers, but you know who they say? You know that movie Eyes Wide Shut by Kubrick?
Yeah, great movie.
They say that.
It's okay movie.
They say that the guy who was throwing the like elite sex parties, that's supposed to be Bob Hope.
Yeah, they say that. Yeah, they say Bob Hope was a bad man with all the USO stuff and going overseas. Like, think about how much more shit you can do in the war zones.
I don't know about that. I'm just saying that, like, if there is some kind of, like, elite cult or something like that, like they say...
You know about that happened in Serbia and the Kosovo? Like, when they basically, there was the allegation that basically elite people were paying... There was that war going on, that conflict in Yugoslavia, whatever. And, like, rich people were paying money to just snipe people. You hear about that?
Yeah, I've heard about that. Did you know it took 750,000 Soviets that died in battle to kill 250,000 Germans in Stalingrad?
I'm not surprised.
So 1 million people died in bloody glory for...
Yeah, they wanted them to die.
For what?
So the commies just don't care about human life. And they were literally giving them more. You get a rifle, you get some ammunition. It was complete bullshit. And, because they really think that, like, the central planning, whatever, the central committee, like the GOP, like, should have all the power and, like, should plan everything. And it's hard to plan everything because so many people. So that's why all the commies always go with, like, depopulation route. Or, like, the, education camp route. It's because, like, it's much easier to plan. If you have slaves.
I mean, it's true. You wipe out your future political enemies in the mass casualty battle. But anyways, I was going through a book today. But so the campaign to elect John Kitover, I'm gonna update the antidote. And
when can you you make it official? Because then I think you should start like texting Shia and really get some press.
It's official when I start putting up videos of me collecting signatures.
Yeah, when are you gonna like make your file?
There's no file, as you said. I just submit my petitions. That's it.
If you're never gonna submit your, well, I guess you are. You're gonna submit like 30 petition sheets.
Yeah.
But then you're only gonna be a candidate for a month. I think you should try to.
No, I'll submit. I'm gonna submit. Like, I'm gonna get a couple petition sheets and go downtown and just submit. That's it.
Smart. And I'll be a write-in after you get kicked off.
Absolutely.
I want to be a write-in for as many things as possible, as I said. And then there's a chance I might run for alderman. Say I still am alderman. I don't know. Maybe it was such a waste of time.
I'm gonna do a lot of publicity. I'm gonna shoot a lot of videos at the Thomas Jefferson Copper Bronze Memorial, and I'm gonna have my petition sheets there. I'm gonna say, if you live in Chicago and you are a patriot, come to Jefferson Park today to meet candidate John and sign the petition to liberate Chicago on the Constitution held by Thomas Jefferson.
Yeah, and I think you should be the leader of like a movement. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's got to be a movement. It's basically
it's
like
starting
like a political cult.
Then, a little bit.
I mean, look at Marx and Engels. Marx and Engels kept saying that it's not the bourgeois that's going to lead the revolution; it's the proletariat.
Proletariat. If there's any hope, it's with the proles.
So I gotta connect. That's why I've decided to go full on LGBTQ, AI plus. Because I realized that I need as many votes as possible. So I'm going to embrace what I consider to be illegal and unethical and immoral behavior, which is same-sex orgasm or attempting to have same-sex orgasm.
Jews should run for office. That's why I say Jews should run for office. Because like, you force you to set out to win, kind of. But I support it,
Because you see, there's so many fat, ugly faggots in the LGBTQAI plus movement that they can't even achieve orgasm. So they're not actually gay because they can't successfully.
It's not a community, dude. It's not. It's like, you know, like, there is no community based on actions. You know what I'm saying?
What do you mean? They got Pride Month. That's the month of action.
I'm not in the push-up community. Like, what the fuck, dude? Like, am I in the push-up community now? Because I do push-ups?
Well, if you go to a gym,
ridiculous, man.
You know, I realized today I was at the gym and I was like, I would rather invest more time trying to meet people or hot chicks that come to this gym than socialize on Clown House with a bunch of losers who repeat themselves all day, every day, and do the same stupid shtick.
Smart. 100%. Your mind's in the right place.
Yeah, because I'm like, wait a minute, I have a community here at the gym, and I'm not even meeting all the hot chicks that I see it like every day. Why don't I introduce myself?
And a lot of them have similar interests. There was a girl that was very good looking in my gym, but I was engaged at the time, so I wasn't entertaining anything. But it turns out she was like wearing Trump stuff out of nowhere. But you never know.
Yeah, I saw a hot chick at the gym with a black Trump MAGA hat. Like, couldn't tell it was a MAGA hat unless you looked really carefully.
I feel like the gyms are like a lean way right. When there's like a few like random Kaepernick types, that like a dude will like wear a Kaepernick shirt, or like there's this lesbian in my gym that will be like who brought who's eating all the pussy? Who ate all the pussy? Like she'll wear that shirt to the gym. I'm like, okay, it's a little bit vulgar. But one thing is, I do think gyms are like 70% conservative values. What do you say? 60, even in Chicago.
There's a lot of liberals at the gym, but
a lot of Republicans in my gym.
There's a lot of Latinos at my gym. I hear a lot of Spanish at my gym.
Interesting. I mean, you're a little less. It's a less. You know, a little Spanish, not that much Spanish.
So I think I'm gonna file. I'm gonna file August 10th.
Is that a date of specific? You know, is there some kind of August 10th?
No, Rabbanu Shalom. 10, not 11. 10, not 9.
Okay, let's do it. I'm excited. 10
Yeah.
is a very collecting number.
Yeah.
10 commandments.
Yeah, 10 Sephiroth, 10 divine lights of emanation. Rabbanu
Exactly.
Shalom.
Exactly. 10 Sephiroth, man.
I read the 10 Commandments on the rooftop at Chabad, and I was like, I took a photo of it, and then the next day I was talking with these atheist faggot retards on Clown House, and I started reading the 10. I was blown away at how angry they got, and then also how logical the 10 Commandments are, and how they can't really like get around.
No. It's like it's like don't disrespect God. They got like really offended by that. It's like, really? You want us to respect all your bullshit? All the pronouns, all the, like, microaggressions. But, like, yeah, it's almost like putting water on a witch. I think because the Bible is the ultimate truth, that it is like a vinegar baking soda situation. It, like, repels. And Job 20:28 is the understanding that the foundation of wisdom is the belief in the Lord, and that compelling evil is understanding. The foundation of wisdom is belief in the Lord, and compelling evil is understanding. And so that's why people don't realize that, like, when you're talking shit to one of these heathens, like, you never do that out of hate. It's like no different than just like doing a chore. Like you should always do so out of love when you're talking to these people. But that's kind of why, like, you have to realize that you're doing them a favor, and you can't let them suck your time too much. That's why I don't go to the Clown House. I don't hate those atheists. They're just idiots.
Oh, I like mocking them, but they say if you have a deficit with the ladies, they say to study Torah because then you become irresistible.
Who said that?
It's like in a hymn or in a maxim book that I read. Like, if you want to become irresistible, read the Bible.
Yeah, well, because it's the truth. And you don't want to attract a bunch of Jezebels. You'll like attracts like. It's absolutely a good move. It's never been a bad thing to study Torah. It also enhances all the mitzvahs. Because a lot of people, including atheists, they do good things by accident. So, like, why not? Like, I'm sure you or me, like, I've accidentally cooked a good dish all the time. Because, like, I'm a home chef. I do my thing. But if I actually took it seriously and, like, learned recipes, that would enhance everything. Same thing with Torah. So just because like we like intuitively know don't steal and be nice to people, it's nice to have, you know.
Do you know what the difference is between reading a cookbook and reading Torah?
What's the difference?
When you read Torah, you know, you prepare yourself as the entree, the appetizer, the dessert. You make, you know, a 10-course meal of yourself. And if you read a book and it happens to be a recipe book, but you don't actually cook what you read, and you just read it, well, you didn't cook nothing, so you got nothing to eat. I'd say it's better to prepare yourself for dinner by reading Torah than actually reading a cookbook.
Welcome to the Top John Peter Show. Is brought to you by NordVPN. Reading Torah is the way of life. The John Kidder Show is brought to you by Aaron Del Mar for governor.
Man, I mean, the guy is
brought to you by Behind Enemy Lines.
He's really flying under the radar, and he knows he's gonna lose, so he's like, he still views himself as being like a viable political candidate, even in the face of an upcoming loss and all the negative publicity. The guy is, you know, he's a...
No, well, his hope, which is just very real, is kind of like during COVID, or kind of like how like Europe's a mess in general.
Mm-hmm.
And like America is making a lot of mistakes, a lot of bad investments, debt, a lot of things that Mayor John Kitover was talking about. But like part of the reason why America's not completely screwed is because you have Europe doing worse, Asia doing worse, Africa in worse shape, and so Aaron Del Mar benefits from like other Republicans and other Democrats being a shit show. Because Democrats, I'm not sure if you're following what's going on with CTU. Like, they're a complete mess. Like, in terms of their electioneering efforts.
Mm-hmm.
It's really funny. Like, they haven't, like, they don't have nearly the same money they used to. Like, Stacey Gates is just, like, a Nepo baby. Like, you know, just kind of, like, she's, like, really, it's actually, I'm a huge fan of hers. Because she's bringing down CTU.
Yeah,
she's got, like, follow her on Twitter. She like turns on commenting, of course, but you kind of see like, wow, she's like an egomaniac.
Yeah, she's mental, bro.
Yeah, no, but like she like the way that she's running the electioneering efforts is also really bad because like people like that don't recruit good candidates and they also don't, you know, they'll burn bridges because of personal slights. And so like the CTU like for the first time ever has like no fucking power. Like Brandon Johnson might not even run for re-election. They didn't give him
Why wouldn't he rerun, man? I saw how much he got his first run from certain donors. I mean, the guy raised millions.
You know, he's talking about his best friend is the head of APAC for Chicago. I'm blanking on his name. Miles, I believe. I forgot, but it's literally Brandon Johnson's best friend. Like Brandon Johnson was a professional lobbyist, political hack for over a decade, and so Brandon does have all the avenues to do it. It's, I don't think being mayor of Chicago is a good gig. Imagine it's like, are you into sports, any sports leagues at all? Soccer, football, basketball?
Cricket, mostly.
College? Ah, shit.
Tennis, European tour.
I mean, like, just think about, like, if you were to take over Blockbuster Video in 2026, maybe is a good metaphor. You know, like, why would you want to take over something that's completely fucked financially? And then, like, the people that are putting you in there, you owe them favors that you can't follow through with. I do think he's going to run, and he's got the easiest pathway to the runoff. So I wouldn't count him out on losing. It's really a question of what's going on.
I don't think he can win. His approval rating's like 20%, and his odds on Kalshi are 150 plus to 1, dude.
No, Kalshi. So I looked at the Kalshi thing. It's all fake. It's a micro market. Like I can get him up to like 20% for $50.
I see.
And people are undercounting the whole runoff system. That basically you have to make the runoff to win, obviously. And he's the easiest path. Like he's the only like hardcore progressive incumbent mayor. So he's going to get the 20-25% he needs to get the runoff. But then the question is like, is he going to run against Janulius, Mendoza, Willie Wilson, and like a lot of those candidates would just beat his ass. like Cornelius would beat the shit out of him. But I think Brandon can beat Mendoza. Because Mendoza's like moving as a Republican, and you're a Republican.
Mm-hmm.
You support Donald Trump. Like, I think he could beat her. I think he could beat Willie Wilson, but Wilson's not going to win. I think he could beat Quigley, but I think Quigley would beat him in a head-to-head. So we'll see. Quigley's such a fucking clown.
Yeah, I forgot about him.
Maria Pappas, I think he'd beat Pappas.
Hey, it's me, Maria Pappas, your next mayor of Chicago. I'm in Greece at a wedding.
That's why Brandon Johnson has a chance. Is what if he gets lucky and some idiot's in the runoff with him, like Paul Vallis last time.
Hey, it's me, Maria Pappas. Watch me do this dance.
I'm a dancer. I'm Maria Pappas. You got any wine?
I said she's unfit for office, and people were responding, agreed. And then
She's like a wine mom. She looks like literally.
My other favorite statement is that she's been banned from speaking with the Property Tax Assessment Software Corporation because she's so retarded.
Not surprised.
Yeah, people like that, because that's true. She was banned from communicating with, I think it's called Tyler Technologies. They're the ones that do all the assessment.
I wouldn't trust her to drive me. I'm like, hey, I need to get to Evanston. I don't trust her.
Hop on in, cowboy.
Yeah, get in the car.
Get in the car, handsome. I hope you like tall Greek women with some spunk.
You know what? That's not my type, friends. I do not like tall Greek women. That's not my type.
This will be my 27th campaign, and I'm gonna dance right into the mayoral office.
Well, bless your heart, friend. I think that's wonderful, Marie Pappas.
It's another big fat Greek wedding with Maria Pappas.
I think you should pop it like it's hot. Pop it, lock it, and drop it.
Vote Maria Pappas, and I'll cut your property tax 25%. Day one.
You vote for Maria Pappas, and she'll pop that ass. You vote Pappas, and she'll pop
Everybody
that ass.
loves a big fat Greek wedding, but nobody likes a big fat property tax bill. Vote Maria Pappas. I'm best friends with Samantha Steele. She was at my party drinking wine when she got DUI and told that Chinese cop he's got a little dick.
Vote for Pappas.
When Samantha Steele got pulled over, she said, "I'm not talking to you anymore. I'm waiting for my attorney."
So I know that guy. I know the attorney. He was running for office the same time my friend was running, and I was running too in 2022. And he was like afraid. He was afraid he was going to lose to my friend, who was a military guy, Ben Hauser. I think you'd like him. More what happened to him. But he basically would show up to like the early voting every fucking day, and became tight with my grandma Debbie, rest in peace. And I would talk to him, but he was such a loser. And I asked my friend, I'm like, do you think he was? I think he might have been having a relationship with Pappas. I mean, with Steele. Because they're both like single. They're both like divorced. And he's like a Cook County commissioner. He's not like a lawyer. He's like an actual elected official.
Well, when I met Samantha Steele, and she introduced me to this guy who helped me with my appeal, and she like physically touched me and walked me and like held me, and I was like, whoa. I was like, this is a touchy-feely woman.
Oh, she seems like a flirt for sure.
Yeah, she was a flirt.
And like, she's not bad looking. I think definitely a huge alcohol problem. I went to the Steele trial, and I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like, I'm gonna start drinking it. Like, basically the moral of this trial is that, like, if you drink and drive, just like tell the cop he has a small dick and just don't comply.
The
That
night
was the moral of the trial. Because that's what she did. She told the cop he had a small dick and didn't comply.
there's photos of her at the house
They had a
party.
bottle. What?
There's photos of her at the house party. They were drinking heavily at the party, and then she even had like open alcohol.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I know. It was bullshit.
She's so fucking lucky, bro.
No, she's not. It's corrupt. They got a 90-year-old judge out of retirement just for this case.
Well, dude, I mean, do you know how much this chick is pulling down? Like, because she has property tax appeals throughout Illinois and Indiana while serving as the property tax commissioner.
She's a lawyer?
Yeah, her and her husband. You didn't read these articles about how she has all these property tax reassessment firms throughout the state and throughout Indiana. This bitch has a racket.
For you, Samantha.
Dude, she's got a business racket, bro. Her and her husband are making millions.
No, she's not married.
Well, a partner or something, but I remember when I read the article that she has all these.
She probably was married, you know.
Yeah. Anyways, I'm just saying that I told her, I was like, yeah, they threw me off the ballot when I ran for committee person. I didn't have, I was short like 100 signatures. And she goes, I went through all that shit in the fucking middle of December. I was knocking on doors to get fucking petition signatures. I did it. I was like, shit, bitch, you did it.
She's like, she's got a motor mouth, and she's like, she probably beat some ass too. I could totally see that conversation going on like that.
Yeah, she was like, keep fighting. I did it. I went door to door in the fucking cold, and I did it.
I did it. That is fucking bullshit. What are you doing tonight?
She's like, I did it for 30 minutes, then I sent in my workers.
Are you looking at a magical evening in Emerald Isle?
Yeah, never seen her at Emerald Island. Oh, man. There was a shooting outside of Halligan's in Lincoln Park. Did you see that on Lincoln?
My mom called me.
Yeah, I guess it was somebody with a CCL, carry conceal license, and they turned in the gun after the shooting or something.
Oh, so it was like a legit shooting? It wasn't like a defense?
I don't know if they, whatever. It was somebody with a CCL, so that was the latest headline I saw.
Did they kill a bunch of people or just one?
I think it was like one fight or something.
Oh, it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
Not a big deal.
No.
But it was a lot of casings, I think. I saw a ton of... Anyways, I don't know what the whole story is. I'm just bringing it up.
It sucks that Chicago doesn't have a gun culture.
What are you talking about? There's lots of... Don't have a gun culture. We got 35 shootings every fucking weekend, bro. 50 shootings. It's a lot of guns.
It's amateur gun culture. Like, we don't, respect guns. And we don't that's why you're seeing all the extra casings and like, the fucking drive-by, stand-by shootings and stuff. It's because we don't have a gun culture. We're not raised to, respect guns or not guns. And the only people that, really do that are criminals. And they get all their shit from movies and, pull the gun sideways. And they're all that bullshit, dude. We don't have a gun culture, dude. No, we do not. Texas has a gun culture. Virginia has gun culture. Arizona's got gun culture. Dakota's got gun culture. We ain't got gun culture. We got pussy culture. We got drawing chalk outside the dead body culture, No, man, we ain't got. I get fights. I text you about how my cousin has that podcast being Jewish. And I'm like, stop talking about security guards. Just walk the ring guards in synagogue. And that happens in Texas. Like when I go to my grandma that eat recipes, for near synagogue, Bible still lives there. They had AR-15s, just hanging around for fun. Well, when there was a shooting at a Texas synagogue, it was the only synagogue in the Dallas-Fort Worth area that has no gun policy.
Yep. That's what my dad told the Jewish Federation. He's like, take these stupid don't bring no gun signs in. That's like saying bring a gun in. Get rid of these fucking signs.
Exactly. Yeah, get these Jews here. These Jews are easier.
Yeah.
So stupid.
I don't know if they took my dad's advice.
And people knew that there was a 25% chance that whoever you robbed had a gun. You just wouldn't see that. You wouldn't see the same kind of shit. You wouldn't see the same kind of shit talking.
So when are you gonna send me the Illinois Record official news release on Aaron Del Mar?
2 Thursdays from now.
Bro, I mean...
I'm kidding. No, this week.
Yeah, send me some links, because I got some videos to make and some links to post. I mean,
No, I'm currently messing up with Kitover Industries before you make it official.
Holy shit.
Because for the 10th, you'll have some more restrictions.
I mean, whenever I took a screenshot of Severino's lawsuit, so tons of shit I just repost with Severino's, everything Bailey posts, I just repost the Severino lawsuit.
You have the full lawsuit?
Not the full one, just the screenshot
for you should do that. You should also repost it with the judge, the judge ruled against Terry. There's some funny shit in there. He's basically I understand they're political, but when Nixon did, it was way above politics. He's a crazy person. It's pretty funny.
Any closing comments, thoughts, ideas, or opinions while you're on the John Kitover News podcast?
I just want to say a tremendous thanks. And when you're mayor, I don't want you to forget where you came from. It's very important because Brandon Johnson's someone who started off as an activist, lobbyist, now mayor. People forget where they came from.
Some people say they came from the gutter. I say I came from the clown house tent.
You did not come from the gutter. You came from the flowers of the Jefferson Park garden.
Well, if you look at my YouTube live right now, I'm in a clown costume. It looks actually really good. My T-shirt is crushing. I got some compliments today, and this hot chick was like, "Where is that T-shirt from?" I was like, "I wasn't born a clown." All right, what did I say? I didn't become a clown. I was born a clown.
Well, I just wish you nothing but luck. And you got this, John.
August 10th. August 10th. That's when, dude, I was looking at my committee person, like old Instagram account with that guy George Stubbs and how we got him to submit his packet and all that bullshit. Bro, what a fucking waste of time that was. What a fucking horrible experience. Like, but we got the photos. We did some shit.
No, but next time, Barry told me the one in the least time, if you ever get a random person to do again, a small police accountability board, they say 150, 250.
That's a good one.
But it can't be like George. It's got to be someone that at least has a pulse.
Somebody like an abuse.
I bet he smoked the petitions.
You mean like Pat Gibbons, because he's a high quality candidate?
No, not high quality, but it's not someone that's going to roll up, use the petitions, like roll them up like with crack and weed and smoke it. Like a little more high, like a little, it doesn't have to be like, it doesn't have to be Pat Gibbons high functioning, but in between Gibbons and George. So I think I think clown candidates are good.
I've never.
They're conversation starters.
It's amazing. It's like, having gone through these experiences, it's like, intelligence is truly knowing what never to repeat again in your life, and like, learning the lesson thoroughly and never ever doing the same stupid shit again. Because
but I'm not an intelligent man.
Yeah, if the true intelligence is so dynamic, each action.
What you're talking about is wisdom. Because come on. There's the three types of intelligence.
Yeah, fiery intelligence,
knowledge, wisdom, and
bodily intelligence. I'm just saying that, like, there were some gems. Actually, see, George was like the outlier and the horrible person, but this one African American woman,
she was so sweet. She was so sweet, and she did such a good job with the signatures. I know you're talking about.
Yeah, when I ran for Congress, she responded to the Craigslist ad again. These people are like constantly looking in that government section on Craigslist, and dude, it's amazing. Like all three times. All 2 times. Anyways, any other final closing comments? Questions, ideas, anything you want to say to this YouTube live?
We want Mashiach now. It's still not sundown.
We want Mashiach now.
We want Mashiach now.
And we don't have to wait.
Speed it up. And to support the moment of silence on behalf of the Rebbe. We're really pushing that right now, John. We're really pushing the moment of silence. So if you can put out something saying you support that,
let's just take a moment of silence right now. Bono Shalom. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.
Yasha Kala.
Okay, peace.
Bye.
Bye.
Trying to sit here and run this suck self-suck circle of like, oh my god, you control the room, and oh my god, these things are not these things because they're not on because of reasons. It's like, dude, you weren't even interacting with T when he was giving you logical arguments to fight onto me. So you're so cognitively dense that you don't fundamentally understand listen, Rabbi, if you don't have the cognitive ability to follow the argument, just say that.
Do you think I need to offend you from
Oh, wait, there's that word again. Opinion, right? Opinion, therefore it's true, right? Rabbi?
I need to opinion from a garbage man from a Leo thing.
So wait, hold on, Rabbi. Rabbi, there is nothing to talk about here because we've addressed both morality and truth, topics in which you invoked into the room, and yet you are doing the biggest jerk circle by yourself by not answering a single goddamn problem that was sent your way. So what the fuck else is there to talk about here? Rabbi, you're the epitome of everything that... Rabbi, you're the epitome of anti-intellectualism at its finest, and you try to play it off so well. Like, you think you're smart, you try to join, like, the smart kids club back when you were in, like, Sunday school or some shit like that, and you just got rejected.
Can you get this mansplainer under control?
Mansplainer? No, I'm explaining your dumbassery in the fucking room right now. That's what I'm crashing out. If you think this is a crash out, you really haven't seen me crash out before. I really think that you're actually like people along.
Okay, if you're not crashing out, you don't need to bother you got and composing yourself.
And if you were able to follow along, you actually agree with what I was saying. You would say, hold on a second. Wait. You would say, yeah, you're right. Your preferences don't make things weird out. Right? Your preferences aren't related to truth or false anyway. You would agree with me if you were actually following hardcore behavior. But you're so far behind the curve, you're not even getting what I'm saying. Can we all just take a moment here to all bow down and pay reverence to our absolute God in the chat room with us? Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother. Welcome, brother. Welcome back, brother.
I'm driving right now. I will talk later.
Fuck you, Florida.
You're steering with your cock. What?
Yeah, we're doing pedals with my balls.
God damn, that's hot. Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to use it right now.
No, wait,
Both yourself better.
Where's my balls in your butthole?
Yes, thank you, Lucas. Listen, you gave me a one-way trip into Boner Town, buddy. Way to go. Yes!
Listen, no, you guys get distracted.
Yes, so that's why.
Give me a proper reason with this.
Brother, you are a one-man circus here, and everybody's paid for a ticket to watch you until you bust.
Welcome every time you talk to a religious person or a film, bro. They always talk like this with one exact same note in every time I work it.
Hey, Rabbi, no one is keeping you here. Rabbi, what's keeping you here? You must love my balls on your chin. No one's keeping you Rabbi, are you trying to fuck me, bro? You can just say that. I'll raise the name. Rabbi, I'm not Jewish. I don't eat kosher bread. It's not like that. I think it's like against the religion. Rabbi, you have the free will to leave, but you don't. You want to go under the authority of I'm just going to the assumption that you want my nutsack on your forehead. I'm under the assumption now that you want my nutsack laid on your forehead. Rabbi, if I dip my nuts in ink and paint it on your forehead, right? 4 years of savages, yes, I do.
Wiggle my balls in your butt cheeks and hold my balls here.
So I know you take you guys serious.
Rabbi, you were the red ale of every church of every
so take it to each other.
let's try and set this as a long topic.
These people are not understanding what people want to
Constitution. What is its substance and material? Its consolidation. Does it subsist?
When you expect me to take it so
My question is for you. My question is not for you.
I was showing a charity. I wanted to get you guys out. Rabbi, you want to talk about charity? I got 2 shekels to give you. It's my nugget.
That's actually sad that was 110%.
No. I mean 110% of 1,000%. I wasn't looking close. It's very low effort. I'm sorry, I really missed out. I disappointed you. I should have said, like, I'm fucking salted on you. This asshole or something like that. Listen, he's talking about charity. Yeah, 32 votes on you. Listen, don't have to try. Okay.
Yeah, RFK famously did that with the pussy and nosy back in the 1980s.
That's insane.
About his affinity for felching with Olivia Nuzzy back in 1982.
Jeez, we got the Epstein files before the Epstein files, guys. What a fucking goober. I'm like so convinced he was trolling the entire time. I cannot.
He is. No, he is. He's not like.
phenomenal person. The first time.
No. Okay, so like the thing that like this goes back into our silent company series, that was way too stupid. That was way too stupid for him to be a serious person. Like he either has some sort of like mental deficiency, there's something wrong up there, or like he's broke.
I don't agree. I think
In this sense, Trinity masses of magic justified completely by the dedication of killing the embodied. Worthy of ideals, like part of knowledgeable sciences.
Listen, that's my point. Hey, Royvis, if you're down, I'm down. We can totally Eiffel Tower him while suspended. I'll be here. I'm joining a giant Kitover. Listen, I'll be Any other guys join the Thunderdome of charitable donations?
I need to ask Dean something quickly. Dean, what do you think about GPT 5.6. I've literally told my coding agent who I've named Max, because I used to have one with the Max cat. As his own Tom, because obviously image generation and video things are not possible with Fable. Now, this is and it's super fast compared to
Oh my god, Ron's a fucking monster, dude. I use, for my coding, I'm doing Claude. So I use 3 different platforms. I do the latest versions of each, and then I use Claude to implement it to
PowerShell, but I would definitely just
basically what I've been doing, so I've been working on a software that I'm actually going to be releasing here pretty soon. Essentially, my goal is to compress timelines that it takes to transact through real estate as a whole. So basically, I'm systemizing the fractionality of real estate, right? And I'm not necessarily making a tool, I'm rather building an AI-powered system. And basically what I've used that three combo for is to build a scaffolding, and then I'm going to go in with an individualistic, like a Claude, for instance, for privacy automation in the back end. And I'm going to wind up actually automating that entire back-end process via AI.
Let me tell you, it's a complete waste of time. And let me tell you, I only know this because I did it myself. I looked at separate UI using different CLIs or SDKs to kind of house it. I even tried doing I definitely say if we're going to use multi-agents, use them through clauses and interface, because under the launcher code you can literally send out agents to do whatever you want. And they come back super fast.
Yeah, well, and here's the thing, especially like when Grok is, like, obviously 5.6 so and Fable 5 are the mommy and dad of frontier models. The Grok 4.5 is the weird Uncle Joey, where he's got everybody out there going, he's taking over the world, and he's great, like he's been all the right? You know what I'm saying?
He scares me though. Did you see the experiment?
Actually, I haven't like. Sometimes I throw things that are they're more elaborate than my intelligence, can understand. So I'll put the paper into AI and says, hey, explain.
Derek, the mundane one, at the worldly level, the chains are made of habits, habit mind. We are given a way of thinking, we get stuck in it, and it's very difficult to get out of it. The second component, which is esoteric, and that's the component which the Sufis talk about when they say you are looking for realization. You are looking for realization. You are knocking on an open door. These doors are already open. We